Sitting square in between October and December, November is the 11th month of the Gregorian calendar. November is seen as a time to start finalizing any plans or projects that you had for the year. The weather in November is starting to get a bit intense too. For those in the northern hemisphere, fall is coming to an end. The last leaves are falling and it's getting quite cold out. November is unsurprisingly quite different for those who live in the southern hemisphere. Temperatures are already ramping up with the beginning of summer just round the corner. By now, you've hopefully dusted off the barbecue and cleaned the pool, as they'll be the stars of your home for the next few months. Like every other month of the year, November has plenty to show for itself. Let's take a look at the origins of the November, the traditions we celebrate during it, and as well as some interesting little facts to bring it all together. So hey guys, welcome back to your own channel Fact Sites. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting us. And if you like our video and our content, then you can press the bell icon right there to support us. Well, jumping back into the video, the first and the foremost interesting fact about November is that November's name has remained unchanged since the ancient Roman calendar, which was in use until 45 BC. This first Roman calendar was only made up of 10 months, with November being the 9th month. November actually translates rather approximately into 9th month in Latin. When the Julian calendar was adopted in 45 BC, 2 new months were added, which pushed the November back to the 9th. Despite its change in position, November was never renamed. Moving on to the second. On November 19, 1978, the largest group suicide in history took place in Jonestown, Guyana. The group who took their lives were instructed so by Reverend Jim Jones, who led the suicide cult called the People's Temple. Over 900 of the cult members drank a cyanide-laced drink, with those who refused being forced to consume it. Number 3. Many people in the US can recall what they were doing at 12:30 p.m. on November 22, 1963. It was on this day that President John F. Kennedy, known as JFK, was fatally shot while riding along with his wife in a procession of cars. He was rushed to a hospital all too late and was pronounced dead at 1 p.m. that day. Kennedy was the 4th US president to be assassinated after Abraham Lincoln, James Garfield, and William McKinley. Number 4. The 5th of November marks a historic day in the UK. On this day, in 1605, a group of Roman Catholics plotted to blow up the English Parliament while King James I was inside. Fortunately, the plot was foiled. Every year, festivities are held across the country to celebrate the group's failure, which includes setting off countless fireworks, lighting bonfires, and even setting alight effigies of Guy Fawkes, one of the conspirators. Fact number 5. The US has its own historic day too. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November and has been celebrated since 1621. The first Thanksgiving was a feast celebrating the first bountiful harvest of the Pilgrims of Plymouth and New England. It is still celebrated in a similar way, with families coming together and sharing plentiful amounts of food traditionally available during November. Number 6. The full moon in November is traditionally called the Beaver Moon in the US. The tradition goes back to North America's early colonial years, as it was during this time of the year that hunters would set their beaver traps for the last time before the lakes and water sources they lived in froze over. Number 7. November has just one birthstone, the radiant topaz. The topaz is symbolic of many things, but most of all, it is a symbol of strength and honor. The ancient Greeks also believed that the stone had the ability to turn oneself invisible. Number 8. November 3rd, 1957 was a historic day for both Soviet Russia and the world. It was on this day that the first spacecraft carrying a live passenger was successfully launched into the space. The passenger was Laika, the dog, an unassuming looking stray pooch who had been found on the streets of Moscow. The Soviets used stray dogs in their tests because they assumed that they would be used to the hunger and cold that they would inevitably experience in the outer space. Number 9. Last on the list is the beginning of the end of the War of Independence began on November 30, 1782, when a provisional treaty was signed between the newly formed United States of America and Kingdom of Great Britain. The final treaty wasn't completed and signed until nearly a year later in Paris on September 3, 1783. It's good to keep in mind that winter is coming and so are the first days of snow. So that's all we have for you today, and I hope that you liked the video. If you liked, then please don't forget to share it with your friends, family, or on your social media platforms. And also comment if you want to see a part 2 of the video. We would love to make it for you guys. Till then, this is me signing off from Factside. You take very good care of yourself as the winter is coming. See you in the next video.